There's a story I've heard again and again in my years of working with older adults. A woman in her 70s stands in the produce aisle at the grocery store. She sees a basket of strawberries ripe red full of childhood memories. But she hesitates. She remembers the warnings: too much sugar, bad for your blood sugar, not safe if you're diabetic. So she walks away, not because she wants to, but because somewhere along the way, sweetness became something to fear. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. For decades, people with diabetes, especially older adults, have been told that sweet fruits are off limits. That fruit equals sugar and sugar equals danger. But what if we've misunderstood the story? What if some of the most ordinary, affordable, and sweet-tasting fruits actually support your health rather than sabotage it? I'm Dr. Jonathan Hale. I've spent over 35 years walking alongside seniors, guiding listening learning from their strength and struggle. And today I want to share something that might just shift the way you think about fruit, especially if you're managing blood sugar, heart health, or inflammation. Because what I'm about to share isn't just about nutrition, it's about freedom. The freedom to enjoy food again, to taste sweetness without guilt, to reconnect with memories, comfort, and joy through something as simple as a piece of fruit. This isn't a diet video. It's not another lecture filled with do's and don'ts. It's a new perspective, a wiser one. One that blends cutting-edge research from places like Mayo Clinic and Harvard Health with the lived experience of older adults who've been through it, who know what it's like to question every bite, and who've found a better path forward. So stay with me all the way through. Because in the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 5 delicious common fruits that aren't just safe for people with diabetes. They're powerful allies in your fight for better blood sugar, calmer joints, sharper memory, and more energy. And more importantly, we'll talk about how to enjoy them the smart way so you don't just survive with diabetes, you thrive with it. And before we dive in, if this kind of practical, uplifting health advice matters to you or someone you love, take a moment to subscribe. Click the bell so you never miss another tip made for seniors by someone who understands your journey. And if something in this video speaks to you, share it, because you never know who might need this message right now. All right, let's begin where most stories of health should begin. Not with fear, but with fruit. Let's start with a familiar favorite one that's often underestimated but quietly powerful. Let's talk about strawberries. Strawberries. Sweet but smart strawberries. They're more than just a fruit. They're a memory. A bowl set out on summer afternoons. A small dish of sweetness prepared by a loved one now gone. A taste that brings you back to a simpler time. But for many seniors, especially those living with diabetes, strawberries have been the subject of unnecessary fear. Too sweet, too dangerous. Stay away. That advice, while well-intentioned, may be outdated. Let's break it down. Modern research, particularly from institutions like the Cleveland Clinic and the Mayo Clinic, has begun to reveal what strawberries really are. A low-glycemic fruit rich in fiber, antioxidants, and inflammation-fighting compounds. Yes, they taste sweet, but the kind of sugar they contain is paired with fiber, especially soluble fiber that slows down its absorption in your bloodstream. So instead of causing sharp blood sugar spikes, strawberries offer a more balanced, steady release of energy. 1 cup of fresh strawberries has around 50 calories, less than 8 grams of natural sugar, and over 3 grams of fiber. That's a nutritional profile that makes sense for people managing diabetes. But strawberries go beyond numbers. They help your body fight back in gentle, consistent ways. Here's how: inflammation reduction. Rich in anthocyanins, the red pigments that give strawberries their color, these compounds have been shown to reduce inflammatory markers in the blood. And as any older adult knows, inflammation is at the root of many daily struggles. stiff joints, sore fingers, foggy thinking, even heart complications. Cognitive support. A study published in Annals of Neurology found that regular consumption of strawberries and blueberries was associated with slower cognitive decline in older adults. In simple terms, strawberries help your brain stay sharper longer. Heart health. The polyphenols in strawberries help lower blood pressure and improve blood vessel function. For seniors juggling both diabetes and cardiovascular concerns, that's an essential benefit. Let me tell you about one of my patients, Louise, age 73. She came to me frustrated, having cut out most fruits for years after being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Her meals had become bland, joyless. She missed strawberries. They reminded her of her childhood in South Carolina when her grandmother would bring in a bowl from the garden. So under careful guidance, we reintroduced a small serving of fresh strawberries every other morning, always paired with a protein like Greek yogurt or a handful of walnuts. The result? Her blood sugar remained steady. Her digestion improved. But more than that, her mood lifted. "It's not just food," she said, "it's freedom." And she was right. You see, one of the overlooked benefits of fruit, especially for older adults, is emotional nourishment. Strawberries carry nostalgia, pleasure, even dignity. When you can eat with confidence instead of fear, something shifts in your health and in your spirit. But it's important to use wisdom. Here are some smart tips for including strawberries in your diet. 1. Choose fresh or frozen, never canned in syrup. Frozen berries retain almost all of their nutrients and are easy to portion. 2. Pair with protein or healthy fat. A handful of almonds, a spoon of cottage cheese, or plain yogurt helps slow digestion even more. 3. Watch portion sizes. 1 cup of whole strawberries is plenty. Avoid smoothies or juices that remove the fiber. 4. Eat slowly and mindfully. Savor the flavor. When you chew thoroughly, you give your body time to process sugar more efficiently. And here's a surprising tip. Don't underestimate the power of routine. Many seniors who enjoy a bowl of strawberries at the same time every day report better digestion, improved mood, and even more stable sleep. Why? Because consistent nutrition patterns help regulate insulin and circadian rhythms. Let's not forget this fruit long feared is actually a humble ally. No prescription required, no side effects, just the quiet rhythm of nature at work in your body. And for older adults, that kind of gentle support is worth holding on to. So the next time you walk past a basket of strawberries, don't turn away, pick it up, let yourself enjoy it with wisdom, with intention, and without guilt. Because you're not just feeding your body, you're feeding your memories, your joy, and your resilience. And isn't that what health is really about? Grape silent but powerful cooperation. Let's turn our attention to another misunderstood fruit. Small, simple, often overlooked, but surprisingly powerful. Grapes. For many seniors, grapes have become a forbidden pleasure. Sweet to the taste, convenient to snack on, but frequently labeled as too sugary or too dangerous for people with diabetes. But what if that reputation doesn't hold up under closer inspection? Let's look at the truth behind these little orbs of sweetness. According to research from the National Institute on Aging and data reviewed by the Cleveland Clinic, grapes, particularly red and purple varieties, offer a potent mix of antioxidants, natural fiber, and anti-inflammatory compounds that make them a safe and even beneficial choice when eaten wisely. Here's what makes grapes a smart option for older adults. They contain resveratrol, a natural plant compound that's been linked to heart protection, lower inflammation, and improved blood vessel function. Resveratrol is also being studied for its potential to slow cognitive decline and reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. They hydrate. Grapes are made up of over 80% water. That means every bite not only nourishes you but also helps with hydration, something many older adults quietly struggle with every day. They stabilize blood sugar if paired correctly. Yes, grapes do contain natural sugar, but when you eat a small portion slowly and combine it with a source of healthy fat or protein, the glucose enters your bloodstream more gradually. Let me share the story of George, a retired railroad worker in his early 80s. George came into my office with a stack of food logs and a face full of frustration. "I've been doing everything they told me," he said, "but I miss snacking. I miss something sweet that doesn't taste like cardboard." We talked through his habits and I noticed something. His biggest fear wasn't the sugar, it was the unpredictability. He didn't know how to trust his food anymore. So we added back a very small handful of grapes, a dozen or so, always eaten slowly and alongside something else. He started pairing them with a slice of cheese in the afternoon. What happened? His blood sugar stayed steady, his digestion improved, and just like Louise with the strawberries, something unexpected happened. He smiled more. He told me, "It's not just about the grapes, it's that I feel normal again." That's the quiet magic of this fruit. Not only does it nourish the body, it reconnects you to yourself. Here's what makes grapes especially smart for seniors. 1. Portion matters. A handful, about 12-15 grapes, is more than enough. Grapes are easy to overeat because they're small, so pre-portioning helps. 2. Red or black grapes are best. They contain more antioxidants than green ones, especially resveratrol, which supports heart and brain health. 3. Never eat them on an empty stomach. That's when sugar absorbs fastest. Instead, eat them after a light protein-rich snack like a hard-boiled egg, a piece of turkey, or cottage cheese. 4. Freeze them. Frozen grapes are a wonderful treat, slowing you down, keeping portions smaller, and offering a cool, refreshing alternative to ice cream or sugary popsicles. Many seniors have told me they find peace in grapes, not because they're exotic, but because they're familiar, affordable, gentle. There's no need for pills, powders, or prescription strength solutions when nature has already done the work for us. And let's not forget how they support digestion. The skin of grapes contains insoluble fiber which acts like a broom in the colon, encouraging smoother movement and reducing constipation. Another common issue as we age. One of my colleagues from the National Council on Aging once said, "We need to stop seeing food only as a number on a label and start seeing it as a relationship." That's exactly what grapes offer. A relationship with your body that's based on trust, pleasure, and moderation. And moderation, after all, is wisdom in action. So next time you reach for a snack, remember it doesn't have to be artificial. It doesn't have to be dull. It can be grape, simple, smart, and safe. Because what you're really feeding isn't just your hunger, it's your confidence, your connection to real food, and your belief that sweetness can still have a place in your life without consequences. And that to me is one of the great victories of aging well. Apple's wisdom beneath the crispy shell. There's a saying that's been passed down for generations. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. It may sound quaint, old-fashioned, like something your grandmother might have said before packing your lunch. But for older adults, especially those managing diabetes, inflammation, or heart concerns, this simple phrase still carries weight. Because apples are more than childhood snacks. They are wisdom wrapped in a crisp skin. Let's look deeper. At first glance, an apple may seem too sweet, especially if you've been told to avoid sugar in all its forms. But here's the truth. Apples are one of the smartest fruits you can eat, especially as you age. Here's why. They're rich in soluble fiber, particularly a type called pectin. This fiber slows the digestion and absorption of sugar, preventing sharp spikes in blood glucose levels. In fact, studies from Harvard Health and Mayo Clinic show that people who eat apples regularly have better long-term glycemic control compared to those who avoid fruit altogether. They contain polyphenols, natural plant compounds that lower blood pressure support, heart health, and reduce inflammation. They help regulate cholesterol, particularly LDL, the bad kind. Apples essentially act like gentle brooms sweeping through your digestive system, lowering inflammation and improving cardiovascular markers over time. But beyond the science, apples offer something intangible, something emotional. Think about it. The sound of a crisp apple breaking under your teeth, the smell of autumn leaves and baked pies, the memory of lunch boxes and harvest baskets. Apples are grounded in our lives not as luxury items but as staples, reliable, familiar, constant. And that constancy matters more than ever as we age. Let me share the story of Clara, age 80, a retired school teacher and lifelong diabetic. She came into my clinic with a long list of restricted foods. "I'm tired of being afraid of what I eat," she said. "Even apples. I haven't had one in years." So we looked at her numbers. They were decent, stable, but her energy was low, her digestion sluggish, and her meals joyless. So I asked her to do something simple. Each morning, cut a small apple into thin slices. Sprinkle a pinch of cinnamon. Eat slowly. Pair it with a tablespoon of peanut butter or a slice of cheese. She followed it. Within weeks, something shifted. Not just her digestion, but her mood, her energy, her relationship with food. "It's like coming home," she told me. "I feel like I'm eating for the first time in years." That's the quiet power of apples. They help you feel human again. Here are a few practical tips to enjoy apples safely and smartly. 1. Leave the skin on. That's where much of the fiber and antioxidants are stored. Wash thoroughly but don't peel. 2. Go for tart varieties. Granny Smith Brayburn and Pink Lady apples tend to be lower on the glycemic index compared to very sweet ones like Fuji or Gala. 3. Pair with protein or fat. A small handful of walnuts or a slice of cheddar cheese slows digestion and balances the sweetness. 4. Avoid juice. Apple juice, even unsweetened, lacks fiber and causes a rapid blood sugar spike. Eat whole fruit only. 5. Eat in moderation. Half an apple in the morning, the other half in the afternoon. This kind of spacing helps keep glucose steady throughout the day. Apples also play a surprising role in mental health. Research from the National Institute on Aging suggests that the polyphenols in apples support brain cell longevity. Combined with their slow-release energy, they help older adults maintain sharper thinking and better memory. One senior I met during my volunteer work at a retirement community said something I've never forgotten. "An apple doesn't just keep the doctor away, it keeps the loneliness away." I asked what she meant. She explained that slicing an apple every morning, feeling the blade press through the skin, arranging it on a little plate, was a ritual. A small moment of care, a way to begin her day with intention. And that to me speaks volumes, because health is not just about numbers. It's not only about charts or readings, it's about rhythms, routines, feeling like you're in control even in a world that often tells older adults what they can't do. With an apple, you can reclaim something, a sense of balance, a taste of the past, a connection to your own body. So don't fear the apple. Welcome it. With the wisdom of age and the science of today, it may just become one of your strongest allies. You don't need exotic superfoods shipped from across the globe. You need the humble apple, clean, crisp, and waiting in your fruit bowl. It's not just a snack, it's a statement that you can age well, eat well, and live with strength one bite at a time. Mango's the sweetness of joy without the fear. Let's talk about a fruit that's often met with hesitation. Mangoes. Golden, fragrant, soft, and deeply sweet. They taste like sunshine, like vacation, like joy itself. And for many older adults, especially those managing diabetes, they seem far too sweet to be safe. But here's the truth that often gets lost in the fear: mangoes can be part of a healthy diet for people with diabetes when eaten the right way. Yes, they're higher in natural sugars than berries or apples. Yes, they have a higher glycemic index, but that doesn't mean they're off limits. In fact, when you look beyond the sugar content and understand the entire nutritional picture, mangoes offer a variety of health benefits that are particularly important for older adults. Let's dig into the science. Research from the Mayo Clinic and Harvard Health Publishing has shown that mangoes contain compounds called mangiferin and quercetin, which have anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. These compounds help reduce oxidative stress, improve insulin sensitivity, and even support the body's ability to regulate blood sugar levels over time. Mangoes are also rich in vitamin C, essential for immune strength, collagen production, and wound healing. Vitamin A supports vision and skin health. Potassium helps lower blood pressure and supports healthy heart rhythms. Digestive enzymes, particularly amylase, which aids in the breakdown of complex carbohydrates. What makes mangoes unique is their ability to soothe digestion and reduce gut inflammation, especially for seniors who experience bloating, sluggish bowels, or indigestion. But the key, like with most things, is in how you eat them. Let me introduce you to Harold, age 76. Harold grew up in Florida, where mango trees lined the neighborhood like lampposts. He told me mangoes were his comfort food, but after his diabetes diagnosis, he avoided them for nearly a decade. "I miss them," he said during a nutrition session, "but I'm scared they'll mess up my numbers." So we created a new plan together. Instead of eating a full mango by itself on an empty stomach, Harold began enjoying 1/4 of a mango, finely diced, mixed into a bowl of Greek yogurt with chia seeds and cinnamon. He ate it slowly, savoring the texture and flavor. The result: his blood sugar remained stable. His digestion improved. And just like Clara with her apples, Harold began looking forward to breakfast again. "It feels like I'm living again," he told me. "Not just following rules, that's the power of mindful eating, and that's the gift mangoes can offer if we meet them with balance." Here are some smart ways to enjoy mangoes without blood sugar spikes. 1. Portion control is everything. 1/4 of a medium mango contains about 11 grams of sugar, manageable when paired with fiber or protein. 2. Always eat with a blood sugar buffer. Pair with unsweetened yogurt, a sprinkle of nuts, or a slice of boiled egg to slow down digestion. 3. Choose fresh, not dried. Dried mango is concentrated sugar. One small handful can equal an entire day's worth of carbs. 4. Avoid smoothies. Even if you blend whole fruit, the lack of chewing speeds up glucose absorption. Whole mango pieces are best. 5. Don't eat mangoes at night. Your body's insulin sensitivity is lower in the evening. Enjoy them earlier in the day when your metabolism is more active. Many people ask, why bother with mangoes if they're risky? Here's why. Because joy matters. One of the most overlooked pieces of the health puzzle, especially for seniors, is emotional satisfaction. Mangoes remind us of abundance, of flavor, of warmth, and for older adults who've spent years afraid of food, being able to enjoy a fruit like mango, even in moderation, can rebuild confidence, dignity, and hope. Health isn't just about restriction. It's about choosing wisely and living fully. And that's the invitation mangoes extend. Not indulgence, but intelligent pleasure. So if you've avoided mangoes out of fear, maybe it's time to reintroduce them slowly, wisely, and without guilt. Because one bite, when balanced and intentional, can do more than feed your body. It can restore your spirit. And that too is part of healing. Orange is the bright citrus that's been misunderstood. There's something special about an orange. Maybe it's the way the peel opens with a soft snap, releasing that familiar citrus scent into the air. Maybe it's the bright color that cuts through winter like sunlight in a bowl. Or maybe it's the memories childhood lunches, breakfast, with family holiday gift baskets with that one perfect fruit tucked in the corner. For older adults, oranges are more than food. They're part of life's rhythm. But somewhere along the way, oranges got caught in the same trap as strawberries, grapes, and mangoes. They were labeled too sweet and pushed aside, especially for those managing diabetes. The truth, oranges, when eaten whole and not in juice form, are one of the most diabetes-friendly citrus fruits you can enjoy. Let's start with the facts. Whole oranges are packed with the vitamin C, which supports immune function, wound healing, and iron absorption, crucial as we age. Marsing, potassium, which helps lower blood pressure, reduce water retention, and support heart rhythm. Flavonoids, especially hesperidin, a compound shown to reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and even support cognitive function. Fiber, particularly in the white pith between the segments. This slows sugar absorption and supports gut health. What sets oranges apart from other fruits isn't just their nutrition profile, it's how the body processes them. Unlike orange juice, which strips away fiber and floods your bloodstream with sugar, whole oranges release sugar slowly in sync with your body's natural rhythm. That means steadier energy, fewer crashes, and better blood sugar control. Take, for example, my patient Miriam, 78 years old, widowed and living independently. Miriam had always loved oranges. Her late husband used to peel one every morning for her, but after her diagnosis with type 2 diabetes, she gave them up completely. I didn't want to take any chances, she told me, but over time her immune system began to weaken. She caught colds more often and her blood pressure began to rise. We reviewed her diet and I asked if she'd consider adding back a small orange eaten with breakfast. She was hesitant, but she trusted me and more importantly, she missed them. So she tried it. One small navel orange peeled by hand, eaten slowly with a few almonds and a boiled egg. Within weeks, her digestion improved. Her energy lifted. And most importantly, she said she felt like she was reconnecting to a part of herself she had lost. Food isn't just fuel, she said, it's memory. And she was absolutely right. Oranges offer more than sweetness. They offer stability. Here are some smart ways to enjoy oranges without harming your blood sugar. 1. Eat the whole fruit, not the juice. Juice strips away the fiber and condenses the sugar. 1 glass of OJ can contain as much sugar as a soda. 2. Don't skip the pith. That soft white layer between the skin and the flesh is packed with flavonoids and slows glucose absorption. 3. Pair with protein or fat. Enjoy an orange with a slice of turkey, a small handful of nuts, or plain yogurt. This helps stabilize your blood sugar. 4. Watch your portions. A small orange or half of a large one is plenty for one serving. Don't eat 2 or 3 at once, even fruit has limits. 5. Best time: late morning or early afternoon. Avoid eating oranges on an empty stomach or before bed when sugar processing is less efficient. There's also a lesser-known benefit of oranges that seniors often overlook: brain health. A study published by the British Journal of Nutrition found that older adults who regularly consumed flavonoid-rich fruits like oranges had a significantly lower risk of cognitive decline. That means better memory, sharper focus, and a greater sense of clarity, something that becomes more precious with each passing year. So if you've written off oranges as too sugary, it might be time to reconsider. Not blindly, not recklessly, but with balance, with respect for how your body works, and with a deep appreciation for the joys you don't have to give up just because of a diagnosis. One orange won't fix everything, but it can be a small act of resistance against restriction, a quiet reclaiming of taste, memory, and nourishment. Because the truth is, this sweetness isn't the enemy. It's how we approach it that makes all the difference. With wisdom, mindfulness, and a little bit of science, even a fruit once feared can become your ally. And with oranges bright, humble, and full of life, you might just rediscover a piece of yourself. Food as memory, medicine, and freedom after 60. By now you've heard the stories. Strawberries once feared, quietly healing joints, easing digestion, supporting memory. Grapes, small and sweet, yet powerful in reducing inflammation and helping you feel normal again. Apples, humble, crisp, and steady, bringing balance and a sense of emotional grounding. Mangoes, rich, tropical, once labeled dangerous, now revealed to contain digestive enzymes and anti-inflammatory compounds. Oranges, bright and misunderstood, offering not just immune support, but protection for the aging brain and heart. And maybe if you're like many of the seniors I've met, you're feeling something unexpected relief. Not just because these fruits are safer than you thought, but because this message is different from what you've heard before. This isn't about restriction, it's about wisdom. It's about learning to live well with your diagnosis, not just around it. Because the truth is, diabetes management is not about fear. It's about rhythm. And food, real whole food, can help restore that rhythm. Let's be honest. Aging comes with its share of losses. Mobility slows, memory shifts, appetite changes. And sometimes the things we once enjoyed, like fruit, become sources of anxiety. But it doesn't have to be that way. Because when you eat with mindfulness, with education, and with balance, you give your body what it needs and your spirit what it's been missing. I've spent the better part of 4 decades walking with older adults through the journey of chronic disease. And do you know what I've learned? That joy matters just as much as numbers. That flavor can be medicine. That sweetness doesn't have to be feared, it just has to be understood. You don't need to eat like you're in prison. You don't need to deny yourself every memory, every smile, every flavor of your past. What you need is freedom with structure. The freedom to enjoy what you love. With the structure to keep your body safe, your blood sugar stable, and your energy strong. Here's what I suggest. Don't count calories. Count consistency. Don't chase perfection. Chase peace. Don't fear food. Learn from it. Work with it. Let it work for you. And above all, remember that you deserve to enjoy your life, not just manage your health. A peach on a summer afternoon, a bowl of berries at breakfast, a wedge of orange shared with your grandchild. These are more than snacks. They're moments. Moments that make life richer, deeper, and more connected. And connection. Real connection to our bodies, our history, and each other is what keeps us alive in the truest sense. So as you leave this video, I want you to remember something. Sweetness is not the enemy. Fear is. And once you remove the fear, what you're left with is freedom. Freedom to choose wisely, to eat with intention, to live with joy. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you. You didn't just watch a video about fruit. You took a step toward reclaiming your health, your pleasure, and your autonomy. And that's something to be proud of. If this message resonated with you, I'd be honored if you shared it. Not just because it helps the channel, but because it might help someone else out there who's still living in fear. Like, share, subscribe, not for me, but for yourself, so you don't miss the next message that just might shift the way you live. And if you feel comfortable, drop a comment below. Tell us, what fruit do you miss the most? What memory does it bring back? Let's start a conversation that's not just about nutrition, but about life. Because that's what we're doing here. Not counting carbs, not pushing diets. We're rebuilding confidence, one bite at a time.